Let's go ahead and move on to the third and final primary source database that I want to show you. And then the final piece will just be highlighting a little bit in secondary databases. The final collection that I'm going to show you as a primary source option is Border and Migration Studies. I'm just going to search for border in our database listing and click on Border and Migration Studies online. This is provided to us through Alexander Street Press. And again, it gives us a little blurb about what we might find in this collection. You can click on Learn More about this collection to see some of the main themes or different border events and areas that are covered. This also has a list of its editorial board members, etc. So a little bit information there for you if you want to take a look. And then you can also get to some of this information or browse through looking at the browse options or border events and areas too. But I am going to start in this situation with a search, and I am going to go ahead and search for unaccompanied minors. I'm doing that as a phrase search, and I'm clicking the search button. And again, this will look fairly familiar. We have our search results. We have filters over here on the left. However, these filters again are a little bit different than what we've seen in some of the other collections. They have added this global issues filter. You can also refine by format, although this is just saying text, video, related web resources. The type is going to be more useful. So this is where you can see, government documents, letters, chapters, press releases, ephemera, minutes, etc. So you can choose to include or exclude specific content types. I'm going to actually just leave that open right now. But again, authors, publishers, you can see when things were written or recorded. So it's kind of interesting with this search, the dates that are spanned, they're saying it's coming from 1940 to 1989. They have also applied their own subjects. So you could say, well, I would like to, again, include one or more of these, or more specifically, I would like to see things around detention centers. Again, I'm going to leave that right now. But again, more filters that they have applied. So sometimes they've tagged things with a global theme or tagged things with a discipline perspective. So they've added that metadata. I'm going to go to the top, and you could search within your results. So I am getting almost 700 results. So I could say that I want to narrow this down, which I may do in a moment. But I'm going to just kind of scan this. I see that I'm getting documents such as memorandum or memos. I'm also getting something there from 1980, which is not surprising from the date filter. And I'm also in here seeing things about handling the Cuban unaccompanied minors. So I'm seeing some pieces about that. I'm also seeing Haitian unaccompanied minors. So this might be a case where I want to search for like Haiti or Haitian within that to narrow it down from my almost 700 results. So that still gave me a lot. So there must be a lot of content in that area, over 400 results. So let's take a look now just to see what kind of details we have with this. I'm going to click on a title, so even that part that's not looking quite like a blue hyperlink is going to be clickable for you. Like other collections, it has scans of these documents. This tool or database is also providing you transcripts, so this can be super helpful, especially if something is difficult to read. If something isn't difficult to read, I often still like seeing the actual document because you get all the formatting and other pieces with it. but you do see the transcription over here on the right-hand side that you can scroll through, and then it tries to bring the PDF to the same spot, so kind of dual scrolling for you. Underneath the transcription, you can click Details, and this is where you see some of that metadata, including the field of interest that they've tagged it with, but authors, the format, the page numbers. You'll see series numbers. So again, this is going to be a microfilm reel that they got this off of, and then all the subjects that they have tagged it with. And they also try to give you some related items as well. So let me go back to the transcription part. So that's happening over on the right-hand panel. The other thing that, again, I would highlight is in the upper left, above the document, they have a red tab that says Show Citation. I personally like this, again, because I get more information about where this came from and what kind of collection it's out of. So I have this title, who it's written by, and then it tells me it's in the Immigration during the Carter administration, records of the Cuban-Haitian Task Force. And it's this records group 220. And then it tells me also where this originally came from, and again, the real information. So I get this information, and if I wanted to, I could get at this basically record group or collection. So this is hyperlinked. I'm going to click on it. So it gives this name at the top, and it's telling me that this is a series that gives insight into the Cuban and Haitian refugee crisis starting in the early 1980s, and the types of things I might find in here. So I'm getting to this landing page. This is looking a little bit more like a browsing piece, but it's going to have, this is what was on the reel and that was scanned. And again, letters and memos, charts, etc. But it can be a nice way to sort of browse a collection. You could still use some of the refining and other pieces that it has over here on the left. So again, options to kind of get to collections, options to browse, options to search, and search within your search results as well. I am going to go ahead and open this item. So I'm kind of speaking less and less about these collections as we go along, but one thing that's nice about this collection as well is when you cite or click Cite, which is under that red Show Citation tab, they do have an option under Export List to send over to Zotero. And again, there's more details about these types of processes in the Zotero reporting. Their export gives you an RIS file which can be brought into Zotero. I am going to save this onto my desktop, and I'm going to open my Zotero and go File, Import. So I can bring in an RIS file, and I'm going to select that file off of my desktop and click Continue and Done. So when I click on it and look over here, it's calling it a book, which I would not call it a book. I would end up by selecting something else. Right now I'm going to select Document. But it's pretty good about bringing in the titles, the author, the publisher, the date, etc. into my Zotero account. And I could also easily drag this over into another folder where I wanted it.